It's Law Nation. Let's go. Mama said there'll be days just like this. One day at a time, one movement at a time. Brick by brick, we stacking these together. Let's continue to grind, to shine. Come on. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure on your way in to smash the like button, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. That's including the ice wall. Come on, baby. Yup. Cowboys schedule 2023. Who do you want? Bring it. We right here, and we ain't going anywhere. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey, come on. Come on. Let's go. Let me know if the audio's straight. Cowboy Nation, the name is Law Nation. As we continue to grind and shine, let's continue to do just that, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, John. I see you in the chat. Shout out to you, Ryan. I see you. And as well as who else we have here? Next to the building. Appreciate you, man. Mac, shout out to you. And Brandy, appreciate you so much for being part of this episode. So, Cowboy Nation. Last night we had the final word, and I think we did a great job at that. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and being part of the show last night. We talked about basically to drink or not to drink the Kool-Aid, and I'm telling you guys, get your red cups out. Let's get it ready. Pour up me a glass if you can, because I'm going to stir this Kool-Aid up the best way possible, and I'm telling you, the 4-letter, the 3-letter network, no shade at them, no salt thrown at them. But I'm going to tell you that they utilize and use the Cowboys' great name for their views, for their ratings, for everything that you can think of. And they would tell you, hey, this team is trash. They would tell you, man, this team, hey, they got to ask for a quarterback, right? They would tell you that this team is an accident waiting to happen. What can go wrong will go wrong. They would tell you all of those things. They would say, hey, Cowboy fans are delusional. Cowboy fans are crazy. They are irrational. You know what I'm saying? But as much as they say that, they watching our every moves. They are watching very closely to every little thing that we do. And if it's something good, they're going to hold their tongue. They're going to bite down on their tongue until it bite it off, and spit it out. That's what they're going to do. It hurts them to say anything positive about this team. And a third of the Cowboy Nation is feeling the same way because they're getting hit with multiple outlets saying the same thing. The Cowboys are trash. The Cowboys are washed. The Cowboys will not make it back to the playoff. The Cowboys are an accident waiting to happen, and you guys will fall right into the traps, the snares that it is, and you guys will continue to spit that out of what they're saying. But I come here to tell you guys, as much as they spit that rhetoric out, you got someone that's going to spit the truth and fight for the Cowboy Nation. And for blow, I haven't found someone from the 4-letter or 3-letter network that can handle me or battle me with these type of conversations. So they might as well be they might as well be goofy with it, baby. So at the end of the day, let it be known they fear us in physical form. Let it be known we troublesome, baby. Baby, let's go. Let's get it, man. I appreciate y'all so much, man, for tuning in. Thank everybody for watching last month and being part of this episode. Let me put my chat box up there. Boom, here we go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Lopez. He says, F them. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. The schedule is out tomorrow. There are some rumors saying that the Cowboys may face the Jets week 1. And there are some things that are out there saying that, hey, the Jets are a better team. Don't y'all get it? Don't y'all understand that even with the schedule or whoever we play week 1, it doesn't matter? Because what happened here naturally, Cowboy Nation, and this is not the schedule, but this is just our road games, our home games. Don't matter, baby. Because at the end of the day, whoever they got ranked higher than us, whoever they got ranked lower than us, the attention will be on us. The mindset from the opposing teams will be on us. So even if it is the New York team, the Jets, and it's a home game for us starting out, I can't wait to see it, Cowboy Nation. And on top of that, we know we carry the NFL. At the end of the day, if they remove, because a lot of people talk about, hey, Law, what about this right here? We haven't won anything since they implemented the salary cap, etc. But let us keep our own money. Let us keep our own money. Let us be the team that everybody sit back and say, man, because we carry the NFL, you can see with your natural eyes. People gear up to see the Cowboys, hate it or love it. They will gear up to pay close attention to us, right? So that's just the storyline there, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you, Leon Lewis. Thank you. Finally, we got an easy schedule, let's say. Well, here's the craziest thing about it, Williams. If the schedule is hard, they will say, well, the reason why the Cowboys won because X, Y, and Z player was hurt that game, right? If the schedule is easy, oh, man, look at the Cowboys. They just got lucky and got a powder puff schedule. So that's why they can't do this and that in the playoffs, right? So have you ever noticed, Cowboy Nation? Hear me out. Have you ever noticed when we win, it's not because of our strength and because of our ability. It's because by chance, right? But when we lose, it's because, oh, man, it's the strength. It's our capabilities. It's crazy, huh? I can't make this stuff up. Last year, the Cowboys, they won't even make it over 10 games. The Cowboys won't even win over X, Y, Z games. And then when we start winning the game, then they take the goalpost and they say, well, the Cowboys will not make it to the playoff. They may be a winning team, but they won't make it to the playoff. Then you make it to the playoff. Well, the Cowboys they will not win a playoff game. Then you win the playoff game. Well, the Cowboys definitely, you see, I told you I was right. You can do that same dance for 31 other teams, right? You can literally say, well, the Bills are an accident waiting to happen. And you've been right for many of years, right? You can literally say the Jets accident waited to happen, right? They would not go far, right? And it can be the same situation. You will be right for all of those years. The Cincinnati Bengals, right? Look, we appreciate the Rams for winning. Appreciate them for winning. Thank them for winning the Super Bowl a year before, last. Shout out to them for winning. But before that time, did you know it was over 20 years, right? The last time they've been to that or won it was in 99, right? Of course, people think that you're in the Super Bowl every year. As great as my guy, Tom Landry, he's been here for 30 years. He only have 2 rings. And I'm using the word only loosely, right? Because, of course, I know he's been to multiple Super Bowls with the mighty Cowboys. But in 30 years, he only had 2 of them. So people fail to realize it's not easy getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. But what people will think and say that their 1-3 in the Super Bowl is better, right? They will have you feeling that them having 1 Super Bowl trumps all of your Super Bowl and your success. And I'm talking about, a certain team called the Eagles, right? Because, they love to fly around here every time. You know what I'm saying? When Cowboys, it must be on their minds, right? Shout out to you, man, Sadiq. Shout out to you, Patrice. Thank you for tuning in. Recency bias law. Yeah, That's just what it is. I feel you. I feel you. So I want to know, before we dive into these details of the conversation today, the Dallas Cowboys 2023 team, are we better than what we were last season? Are we better than what we bring to the table this season, juxtaposed to last season? Can you put that in the comment box, yes or no? Are we better? Now, of course, Parsons this offseason said, hey, instead of playing at 240-ish, he want to play at 250-ish. And he's, according to reports, he's weighing right at 252 pounds, and he still got his speed. He's moving around swiftly. And, of course, you see Deuce Vaughn. He's working out with Parsons. That's Jamar Chase, too, part of the collective crew. They're working out. They're trying to better their best. They're trying to get things going in the right direction. I like seeing this. I like knowing this about the Cowboys off-season, seeing these guys getting it out of the mud. That goes a long way. I think that Parsons will be better, right? I think that every group on our team will be a step up. From the quarterback room, if health is a situation, from collectively the tight end room, the wide receiver room, as well as the running back room. I got this feeling, even though a lot of us may have strong reservations on the O-line, but I believe just by concepts alone that the offensive lineman room, the group itself, will be better than what it was last season. Law, do you have tangible evidence on that? No. Law, you just leaning on faith, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I get it, right? We haven't seen or touched it yet. But sometimes when you know something, you just feel it. You know when you studied, right? And you looked at something and you gave your analysis, you say, yeah, I passed that test. And you walk out passing the test. And that's how I'm looking at this situation. Yeah, we believe. Shout out to your Heartland Cowboys. Yeah. This is not by chance, ladies and gentlemen. I get it, right? We wanted to win the Super Bowl last year. We wanted to win the Super Bowl the year before that. Dog it, we wanted to win the Super Bowl every year. There's not a year go by that you guys didn't want to win it, right? But in order to win it, you got to go through trials and tribulations, right? And also understanding that real football stuff is being presented. You know, a person that's not closely to this team will look back at this and say, hey, these are the same old Cowboys. And it's not. This is not the same Cowboys that we seen 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Not the same Cowboys. Not the same principles. And my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports, he was hung on the same principles and philosophy last night, right? He was saying that, hey, the Cowboys will try the goofy stuff again. I said, what you mean? The wide receiver by committee? Well, who birthed that idea? Who gave life to that idea? Oh, Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett philosophy. And when we were talking about that, right, there are some things that you guys are watching right now that somebody never even seen you before, but they know your grandfather or they know your grandmother. And they'll sit back and say, BT, boy, you acting just like your granddad. Ooh, you acting just like, boy, Antoine Thompson. Boy, you stubborn, just like have you ever heard that, Antoine? You be like, man, how you know me? You say, boy, you stubborn just like your granddad, right? What happened there? How is that possible? Oh, sometimes traits, sometimes the things that you learn from your father or from your mama, it falls down into your DNA, and instincts tends to kick in. And you believe it the same way that they believe it, right? Or you have patterns the same way they have patterns. And my friend, ladies and gentlemen, that was going on with Kellen Moore. Who y'all thought taught him, right? He had the same tendencies, man, of Jason Garrett. I told y'all straight to y'all faces that, man, this is the same offense since 2007. The same philosophy. Ain't that right? Common sense laugh. Appreciate y'all. So that's why it was important, even in, some scriptures you read, it said destroy everything. Leave no lineage alive. Leave no bloodline alive. And every time they leave that one there, it'd be a thorn in that person's side by leaving them alive. And I'm not saying that you had to kill and cut off the head of Kellen Moore, but some of those old ways and philosophy and principles were there. Now, granted, Kellen Moore may go over to Chargers land and light it up on fire. But the reality, Cowboy Nation, we had some of the same things that we did last year, the previous year before, the previous year before that, because some of the same substance was there. You're going to have to clear out everything. But enough of me talking, because a lot of people don't understand that the things that they are pointing out, the things that they are saying, comes from the old ways. But let's listen just a little bit and let me know if you guys can hear the audio.
Around Dak or the new play calling situation? Tim, is your bigger concern the weapons around Dak or the new play caller situation?
The new play caller situation, Field, in a big way. I need someone to explain to me the excitement that Kellen Moore's gone, because you look at the 4-year stretch where he was the offensive coordinator, they scored just under 28 points per game, which was second in the National Football League during that stretch to only the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the top-ranked, scoring offense in the NFL in 2021. Like a top 5 offense last year. Look, I think this idea of hey, Kellen Moore was holding them back because he wanted to throw the football so much, I just would push back on. And I would also say his success during that stretch he had to also do without Dak Prescott. So I think there's going to be an adjustment and a change. And I'm not.
Woo-wee! Let me pause it right quick and let's say lean forward just a little bit. Yeah, and don't move too quickly, cause ooh, baby, right there. Whoa. Lord, do you have any factual evidence? Yeah, I do. Yeah, we were top 5 in offense since Kellen Moore been here. But what if I told you that without Ray Dakota Prescott, there's historical data, there's factual evidence and information that you guys don't have to take my word for it, but you can go do your own homework. That without number 4 under center, somehow your top 5 offense collectively, because he said number 2, went from 5 top ranked to 25th, 27 respectfully. In 2020, when Dak Prescott vacated from the situation due to injury, that offense that you said that was top 5 disappeared. Right? And then, Lord, do you have any more evidence and information about it? Just last year, when Dak Prescott got hurt, right, and had to miss 5 games, what if I told you, without even you going to check, and you can just take my word for it, that you went from, potentially being top 5 offense to number 27. So 2 things can be true, right? I get it. Maybe the offensive coordinator needed to make his necessary adjustments, dare I say. But I'm going to tell you that without Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore is not a top 5 coordinator according to the stats. Now, stats can tell only half of the storyline. But what can y'all say from your mind's sake when you saw those games? Were we humming? Were we scoring 28, 30 points respectfully without Dak Prescott? Come on. And I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is the end-all, be-all. But what I'm saying is collectively, how are you going to point out that without pointing out the others, right? Because at some point, the truth should be presented. And that's why Law Nation is here. So that's why I had to tell him to lean forward just one more time. Slap the hair back on his head. Slap the hair back off his head. And then one more time, go to your room, baby. Come on, baby.
Here saying that Ryan Schottenheimer, the new offensive coordinator, Mike McCarthy don't know offense. They do. But there was a creativity that Kellen Moore brought to, how he would design a game plan.
Whoa, wait a minute. Come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Hold on. You wait a minute. Slow down. The creativity. Now, granted, I'm going to say going empty and you're at your own 20, that is very creative, right? Oh, using and utilizing 14 personnel or ace personnel or minus the running back with ace, by the way. You know what I'm saying? You just going out there with 3 trips. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. I call it 0-3 personnel, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. That is very creative. 3 tight end sets without the running back in the backfield or what have you. Or utilizing some of those, what you call those trick plays, the end arounds at your side of the 30. Yeah, that was very creative. But people fail to realize just because you're creative doesn't mean that you're innovative, right? Doesn't mean that particular way of utilizing your offense is something that really works all the time. And on top of that, one of the heels of this team, the Achilles heels of this team, from what I've heard, been on the fact that the plan and the scheme don't go hand to hand. These are just collections of plays because you don't have one play to counter the other play. And that, my friend, you can be creative all you want. All we want are the results. Ain't that right, Coach Marv? He says, Law, we the star of the NFL, seen, talked about relentless. You know, I appreciate you, Lee, on that. Relentlessly on that. Good or bad. Appreciate you, Coach Ball. Appreciate you. We are the star of the league. And the Cowboys, don't y'all fall into the traps of saying, hey, this guy was creative, because creative can be this. The tests say use a number 2 pencil, but all you had to do is use the number 2 pencil. But you want to go and grab some colors, some crayons, and you want to take the test with your colorful crayons, right? And then you want to get mad and say the answers are right. But the answers to the test should have been done in just a number 2 pencil. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Are you guys following me for what I've said, right? Like, oh, that was creative. Oh, that was nice. But it don't count. But I got the answers right. It don't count. Well, why are you wrong? Why are you making me wrong when I'm right? Well, the answers to the test should have been done in just a number 2 pencil. But you was creative. Come on, y'all. Come on.
I think the Dallas Cowboys were exciting and explosive on offense. Because of it, they're going to have to find that over again.
Timmy, you're pushing back, so it sounds like Dak's pushing back and CD's pushing back, because I think their head coach talk about running the football and pumping the brakes on lights out football offensively. So absolutely, they're trying to say it too, because Mike McCarthy, I think, though, knows what the strength of the team is, and it's the defense. I mean, you bring in Stephon Gilmore, and then you got a head coach talking about running the football more. I mean, this is philosophically ending every possession in a kick, whether whether it's a field goal or a punt, you know what I mean? So McCarthy, the discipline and self-control that he's going to have because, I mean, Diana's right. I mean, everybody's right. He cooks good. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, he can get it done. They've got some offensive weapons that get you excited, but can the play caller, the head coach, have that self-control to say, this is what I want to do? It's different from the past. The defense is the star of this show now.
No doubt. We all been saying, and we all been on the same page, defense win championships. Yeah. And then if we can go back and look at this roster as far as the offense last season, yeah, we had some hiccups, right? But you have to have some creative plans of action implemented from your quarterback to overcome pass block win rate bottom half of the NFL. And that is creative. Because from my point of view of it, we had no reasons to be in that spot. And you know why that was in that spot? Oh, the creativity from your offensive coordinator. Didn't know how to mask up things. Now, granted, the Cowboys, 4 out of the 5 guys on the offensive line moved around like chess piece. So, yeah, you had to be tap dancing and getting things out quickly. Now, my thing is, Cowboy Nation, when you look up this roster for the 2023, I truly believe that the Cowboys will utilize Tyler Smith down inside as the guard. The other Tyler, Biotish, will be your center. Zach Martin will be your right guard. If healthy, Terrence Steele will be your starting right tackle. Tyron Smith will be your left tackle. And in a pinch, when Tyron goes down, they're going to build up, and I ain't talking about just anybody. Tyron Smith got an unbelievable, very pretty, beautiful, gorgeous contract with the Cowboys. But ladies and gentlemen, this is your new starting lineup right here. If healthy. And on top of that, hear me out. Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Show of hands, and I know this could be low for me to say this, and I'm not throwing any shade or salt at my guy Noah Brown. But is Brandon Cooks better than Noah Brown? Let me just see. I'm going to read y'all comments, man, while I read out this super chat. I just need to know because we were able to do a lot of things with Noah Brown and Dennis Houston last year. And that's just what it was, week 1 and all of those things. And I'm not throwing any shade at you, Noah Brown. Shout out to you, man. May you be an all-star over there in Texans land, right? Allah, I like our new direction. The 49ers blueprint of the team building on steroids, right? With a great quarterback, Dak. Yeah. Efficient physical offense with a dominant day. Yeah. I talk to my brother all the time, and he speaks lowly of Dak Prescott, and my brother is a 49er fan, right? And he can't stand the Cowboys, and I can't stand the Niners. So, Yeah, I think that mode of going out here, making sure that you solidify a spot with playmakers, like a Cooks, like a CeeDee Lamb, and now you don't have to rush everything for Michael Gallup. You don't have to rush anything. So, and we all know that CeeDee Lamb.
You want to talk about a playmaker?
Yeah, playmaker.
That's a playmaker. He made the play.
Yes, indeed, man. So appreciate you, Coach Marv. And so I see a lot of yeses. Everybody believe that Noah Brown is not better than Brandon Cooks. And I'm not using, Brandon Cooks as a guy that's going to walk on water over here. But it's just stating the obvious, John says, with our D, we need a top 5 offense. We need a consistent offense that can do better than consistent 3 and outs. We don't need a 400 passing yards per game. Yes. Let me break this down because I agree with my brother right there in his super chat. I appreciate you so much. Consistency is a major thing. It's not a minor thing. I think that the Cowboys really need to utilize consistent play, especially on offense. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can find it. I'm going to look for it because I thought I had it somewhere. I don't have it right here. Hold on. We're going to look for it. I don't have it. Yes, I do. I have it. Boom. The reason why I'm showing you guys this was a play that we call 14 personnel. You see 3 tight ends there, but there was actually 4 tight ends on this play. The super chat states that we need a consistent offense. You see what happened here, the Cowboys would utilize and showcase us something one time, and then they will run away from it. They will hide it. This is the series that set up the 14 personnel. They will show us flashes of utilizing all of those guys. One can argue, ladies and gentlemen, the name of consistency is to do it over and over and over again. Watch you hop over them. Yeah. And what happened here is the Dallas Cowboys will be this way one game and then go a whole nother way another game. Is that levels of consistency? Can y'all put that down in the chat? Watch. I think Zeke going to run it in. And why everybody's backpedaling? Because they got tired of the 14 look, right? They didn't know whether or not these guys going to stay the block or they're going to go back and run for a 5 or 6, 7 yard run passing play. So what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Cowboys themselves, hear me out, the Cowboys themselves were not consistent even with the play design and the play calls, right? We would showcase everything. Beautiful. Oh, my goodness. You would sit there and say, man, I can't wait for next week. I can't wait for next week to see that. And then we would never show it again. And then we get mad at the quarterback. The quarterback not consistent. The offensive coordinator not consistent. This team is not consistent. Because they never stuck to doing the thing that was consistent. You know, I would have been continuing to do those things, right? I would have continued to figure out ways to say, hey, you know, Dak Prescott, hey, you got options now, man. This is putting the team at odds. You utilizing your 4 tight ends for crying out loud. You utilizing your 3 tight ends for crying out loud. I would have did it until they stopped it. But the only person that could stop it, literally, was the offensive coordinator. I can't make this stuff up, you know. So at this point, the Cowboys should go back to the bag and utilize this play and continue to do it. I'm quite sure that Big Mike was looking at this thing and saying, shoot, we got the personnel. We literally still got this personnel. The only person that we're missing is Dalton Schultz. And I'm quite sure that we drafted a guy that wears number 86 that can do that play right there. His name is Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker, look at Dalton Schultz, 86 in line. He gets there and block on the outside. I'm quite sure Schoon can do the same thing, right? So therefore, the Cowboys said when they went into this draft, they said, you know what? Let's go back to this 14 personnel look. Let's go back to this 13 personnel look. And name of the game, I just want you to get in the way. I just want you to get in the way.
Yeah, for sure. And Teddy, I think it's interesting how you read that and how you're hearing it from both Dak and CD talking, and Dak specifically about Brandon Cooks. And guys, I can tell you, around the league, there's so much respect for Brandon Cooks, right? Because he's been productive in every place he went. But Dak was talking like Brandon Cooks was just like, you know, a top 5 receiver right now, because he is trying to send a message, in my opinion, just from hearing it, of like, no, this is the kind of offense I want to do, right? It's obvious is he leans a little bit more towards what they were doing, which Tim painted a perfect picture, which was a very high-octane offense that was productive. But it is going to look different, and they have been very clear. They want to run the ball, and that is what this team is going to look like, whether Dak Prescott likes it or not.
Tim, quick.
Well, not to slow down the lady right there. Shout out to the ladies that's talking sports. We love to hear the ladies. But come on, y'all. Dak Prescott would have been crazy if he was talking glowing like, yeah, man, Noah Brown, man. You know, I'm glad to work with Noah Brown, man. Sure. And James, y'all say it with me. Washington, man, these dudes, man, they going to be top 5 wide receiver. It's not the same when you got somebody that can walk into the room with a resume, right? With some tangible evidence on tape, right? Not the unknown. And granted, the unknown, I'm not throwing any shade at James Washington or oh my God, Noah Brown. But their resume, their body of work didn't equate. So there's no way that he can just say, yeah, man.
You want to talk about a playmaker? That's a playmaker.
He just couldn't do it. He just couldn't say it, man. So he's like, yeah, man, last year, yeah, man, you know, we had Dennis Houston. You know, hey, man, Noah Brown been stepping up. He's been here for 6 years at the time, or 7 years, how long he been there, you know, and he's been showing up in camp. He's been a guy that everybody, hey, been turning heads. But now when you got a Brandon Cooks and you see 4.3 speed or 4.4 speed, you sit there like, yeah, man, this dude, shoot, and know how to run routes, shoot. He's going to be talking glowingly. And, yes, if the team still veer and run the ball, ain't nothing wrong with that. Show of hands. Who believe that even Russell Wilson missed Brian Schottenheimer? You know what I'm saying? Because my guy Russell Wilson, he didn't look like Russell Wilson last year. You know, people forgot his name. They said, yeah, man, that's Sierra husband out there. You know, they forgot the brother's name. I'm quite sure. You run to open up the pass, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just pull open this right here. Let me go right here, PFF. And I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is Russell Wilson because I think that he's better, you know, but that's a whole nother story. But we're going to go to Russell Wilson 2018. And we're going to see what he looked like. And I know we're going to pull up some stats or what have you. Stats only tell half of the story down there. But, shoot, 35 tubs, 7 INTs. I'm quite sure with 3,448 yards. Hey, and that was a run-first type of team. Show of hands. Would y'all be mad at that? Because if I'm looking at this, I'm going to tell you. You know, I'm going to tell you. I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at you.
4,110 yards, 31 tubs, 5 INTs. I ain't mad at it. Sure, run the ball. Open up the pass. Let's play some concepts, some principles. Let's put some schemes in this thing, man. Coach Marv says the word RO, our offense, should be efficient. Law, look up the word and I will tell you what I mean, Law. Efficient, you know. The word, the rudiments of the word. You know, I want to see what Webster defined the word efficient, you know. Meaning, okay, meaning, boom. Okay, all right, this is Oxford language, especially of a system or machine achieving maximum productivity. Yeah, let's go. We learned something with minimum. Woo! Don't you know the word efficient? You can't say it without achieving maximum productivity with minimum. And look, they underlined it, the word wasted effort or expense. Efficient. And then they got some other similarities of it. Boy, ooh-wee. Preventing the wasteful use of a particular resource. Coach Ma, man, we having school over here, man. Look. Ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at
Now, come on.
I ain't mad at you.
We were once two fans of the same kind, quick to holler at a offensive coordinator with the same line, baby. You know, I ain't mad at you. Why is that super chat the most efficient super chat of this month? That was very efficient. Because even if we go back to that word and we listen to what Coach Marv super chatted to us, and it says, preventing the wasteful use of a particular resource. Let me just highlight it. Let me just highlight it. Was Jalen Tolbert wasteful use of a resource last year? Yes or no? On offense. Was Cavante Turpin 4.29 speed wasteful use of resource last season? Yes or no? Huh? Y'all get with what I'm going? Was Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott wasteful use of a particular resource last season? Well, what I'm saying here, the word source pull from the actual source. And you got to understand the word source means that the origin of where it comes from. Boy, y'all ain't gonna like me here today. You see, the source of the nature comes from the offensive coordinator. You say he's the person with the source, and you're supposed to pull from the resource, and that's why they call it Anything that you have is basically pulling from the original. So what I'm saying is that's why you got recycle, right? Because you're actually returning things over and over again. So what I'm saying is whatever that we had from the resources came from the source. Jalen Tolbert, he could only pull from the source that gave him the information for the nation. Tony Pollard could only pull from the source that gave him the information. You know what I'm saying? So when you start looking back at the things that were done, we didn't have a good source. So now that if you got a good source, your resources will solidify itself when you start utilizing the efficiency level, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Yes, indeed. I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
Woo. So now that we can look back at this, ladies and gentlemen, and we can look at the source that gave us this particular play, and the Cowboys utilized it one time. And they supposed to be resourceful with this. They supposed to present this multiple times over and over again until the sources runs out. But guess what happened? The Cowboys presented it one time and they ran from it. They never came back to it. And all they had to do was to use their sources in order to get things done, but they refused to use the source. So have you ever wrote an article, right? Have you ever came up with something really good and then somebody say, man, what was the source? Where did you get your sources from? You know what I'm saying? What did you utilize and use to get to this point? And then when you copy, Oh my goodness. See, now it's connecting together. When you copy something and you forget the source, meaning that you don't have it back into the mindset. So because now you were just a collector of information. You wasn't a builder of information. You didn't know how to present said information. So when somebody said to you, hey man, where did you get the sources from? And then you sit back and say, I don't know. I copied it from someone. Therefore, I couldn't present it over and over again. So now you don't have real sources out there. Watch you hop over. Yeah, get some more yards out of them. Ran over 25, So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, I hope that the Cowboys understood this from an offensive perspective. And they said, okay, we can be efficient with what we got. We don't need a lot. All we got to do is go back in and look at what we did and then present it correctly. Make sure that we got things going in the right perspectives. Make sure that we don't need a lot to do a little, or we don't need a little to do a lot. Because the things that we do are the things that the opposing teams can't stop. Why? Because we got the source. We got the information. We got the skill set. We got the personnel. We got the great matchups. This is a game of matchup, Cowboy Nation. Herb says the offensive coordinator forgot. It appears that he did. Or the things that he presented wasn't his sources. Boy, we go on and on for that. Yeah.
Quickly, the Cowboys obviously aren't measured by making the playoffs or even winning the division, but instead winning a Super Bowl. How close are they, though, to Philadelphia, the team that represented the NFC last year in the Super Bowl?
Listen, I mean, I think they're close to them, but I don't think that you would have a hard time convincing me that they were any better than them. So I look at Philadelphia, and I feel like Philadelphia continues to kind of stretch the distance between their talent level and Dallas's talent level.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
And there goes more of Hasselback thoughts there. Now, I don't know which Hasselback it is. I just know it's one of the Hasselbacks. Y'all can put it down in the chat. The quarterback for the Eagles, I don't believe that he even, let me see. I don't know if he even ever beaten the quarterback for the Cowboys. Now, I know that that's anecdotal, right? But let me ask someone, and I don't want to ask someone else. Alexa, what is Dak Prescott all-time record versus the Eagles?
From StatMuse.com, Dak Prescott is 7-3 versus the Eagles in his career.
Okay, so according to Alexa, it's StatMuse, she says that Dak Prescott is 7-3 all times. So when you're talking about distance being closed, right? It goes to this right here. The last time I've seen Dak Prescott lose to the Eagles was in the year of 2019. And Alexa was off. He's 8-3. You see, she's off. See, I think she even hates the Cowboys. So he's 8-3 all time, right? That's even crazier, right? Alexa, how many days have it been since 2019?
2019 ended 1,225 days ago.
So according to her, 1,229 days ago, that was the last time the Eagles beat a healthy Dak Prescott. So what kind of gap do they have over here? Come on, man. Come on. I can't make this stuff up. We got another super chat. Appreciate your Common Sense Lab. Kellen Moore is gone because he didn't use the resources that save SJ money, right? Stephen Jones money. We like our guys. Yeah. Ooh.
This is Sparta!
Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Talk to him. Appreciate you, Kenneth Harris. Law, stop messing with Alexa. Appreciate you, Alexa. Alexa, we love you.
Thank you. I really appreciate those kind words. And because you're so kind, I'm giving you a virtual gift.
Okay.
A tree of kindness. Right now, the tree is a seed. And the more kindness you show, the more this tree will grow.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. Ooh, she gave me a seed for see, you see how blessings come. You know, you say some kind things to someone, and then all of a sudden they sow you a seed of kindness back. And then it may not grow that day, but down the line, shoot, that one seed can be a home to thousands of birds, right? Can provide shade and shelter for thousands of other people or animals or insects. See, that's the seed right there. Kindness, baby. Yes, indeed. Appreciate her so much. But also, Cowboy Nation, if you're talking about distance traveled, right? How many points did Patrick Mahomes put on the Eagles in that Super Bowl last year or this year, that part of this year? How many points was it? What was the final score? What was the final score? I want to know. I need to know. Can somebody put that down? What was the final score of the Super Bowl? Okay. 38. Y'all see where Law is getting. Y'all see where Law is coming up at. You know what I'm saying? With this theory here. And 38 to 35, I know it's the biggest, brightest stage of all. The man was on one leg. But I want to know, can y'all put down in the comment box for your boy? I just need to know. I forgot. But how many points? Because Dak Prescott did have to play against that defense, right? I don't think the defense changed that much, you know. But can somebody tell me how many points did Rain Dakota Prescott put up on those Eagles in the Super Bowl? You know, I mean, my bad, he wasn't in the Super Bowl. But how many points did Dak Prescott put up against those Eagles? Can somebody let me know? Come on, can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know? I need to know. I want to know. You know, Dak dropped 40 on y'all bombs, okay? Oh, okay. So they catching up. So from my understanding and from my knowledge and from my levels of information, people were calling him regress guy. He regressed. But can somebody let me know the time before that last time? How many points did Dak Prescott put up on those Eagles? I'm talking about the time before last. You know, so can we go back last year, before last year? Can we go back to 2021? How many points did he put up on the Eagles? How many points did he put up on the Eagles? Can somebody say, I want to do a homework test right quick, man. Come on, Riggs. I'm getting too old for this, Riggs. How many points did he put up against those Eagles? You know, the last time he played, not 2022, but 2021. You know, how many points did he put up on those Eagles, right? You know. Oh, my goodness. He's 54. Was it 50-something? Philly D, man. Hello, my friend. Looking for a championship game. Eagles versus Dallas. Like your content, man. Baby, appreciate you, man. Oh, appreciate you, Philly D. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Philly Dallas. That's what the D stand for. Philly Dallas. Appreciate you, man. Thomas, he said 51. So they right. God dog it. That Dak Prescott is regressing. He put up 51 points the time before last, and now it went down to 40. You know what I'm saying? He's missing 11 points from the table. Mark says, how many points did Dak put up on the 49ers? It was the last time. It was the less than the last time. I feel you with that. But see, here's what the Eagles like to do. They like to be included into a rivalry that they're not a part of. You see, we can rock with the Niners rivalry because they got substance and ground to stand upon. You know what I'm saying? They got 5, we got 5. Their drought been 28 years, our drought been 27 years. We both been droughtful from the Super Bowl. But granted, there's somewhere in the logic thinking of an Eagles fan that even their one Super Bowl in 2017 is probably better than the 49ers Super Bowl. So I feel you. I understand. I get you. I get where you coming from. I feel you, fam. I feel you. But shout out to you, man. Come on, man. I feel you. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you guys get what I'm saying. The Cowboys, we're going to bring the heat for the 2023 season. And regardless of how you look at this schedule, regardless of how you look at everything. Oh, my guy, Matt Batten. Hey, Matt Batten, appreciate you. He says Dak in 2021 dropped 51 points, 41 points in 2021 too. So 51 and 41. So, yeah, he's regressing, man. He only put up 40. I'm quite sure that if you go back and watch the videos, and shout out to my guy Matt Batten, if you go back and watch the videos in 2022, Eagles fans were saying, hey, the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. The Eagles got a better roster, right? You get what I'm saying right now, And if you go back to 2021, right before the game, just go watch the videos. They're going to say that they had a better roster, they have a better defense. And every year, what year did they didn't say that they were not better? What year did they didn't say it? And Dak Prescott goes down there and he put up 35 to 40 points. The dude is averaging 35 to 36 points on them. And one can argue, now that they got a whole new defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, and you think that guy's going to stop them? I got lead on the moon for sale. Come on, man. Yes, indeed. Ben Ramirez says Alexa need to be fired. Dak is actually 8-3 versus the Eagles. We know. She need to update. She need to keep that resume going. Yes, indeed. But neither here nor there. It is what it is. That's just what it is. All right, so let's go with it. That got a new offensive coordinator too. Yeah. He do.
Catch the distance between their talent level and Dallas's talent level.
Yeah, they certainly had a lights-out offseason in Philly, did the defending NFC champs.
At this time, I would like for you guys to also hit that phone line up, and we can talk about the difference of that getting a new offensive coordinator versus the Philadelphia Eagles getting a new offensive coordinator. Come on. Or whatever y'all want to talk about. The hotline for your mind is brought to you by Power Hands and Inside the Huddle. 657-390-7391. Let's go. Only the ones that's down for me, baby. Let's get it. Come on. Don't be like this guy. Come on. Let's get it. Come on.
Blue faces, not the pills. Heard you call him bluffs, I show him prove it is for real.
There are 3
Son of God, not a son of Sam.
Let's go.
Keep it off the books and keep it coming in.
They ain't calling it. They ain't calling it. Regina Reed said, Eagles, please call it. They ain't calling it. They ain't calling it. All right, Coach Marr from the 803, you're live.
What's going on, Law? What's going on? I got
Man, listen, man, great show as always. I got 3 points for you. All right. And I'm glad you looked up the word efficient because in coaching, that's what you want. You want, and as the word said, you want to get maximum effort with the least wasted motion or of effort. No wasted effort and get maximum reduction.
Yeah.
That goes along with what McCarthy is talking about when he says complementary football. Complementary football is no wasted effort that causes stress on either side of the ball, either for special teams, defense or offense, and you get the maximum reduction out of those. When you're not complementary, you stress one point, or you even hurt your best part because you put them in bad situations like not having time possession to keep them on the field too long, or turnovers, putting them in bad spots, or not being efficient in certain areas. The offense can hurt the defense can hurt the offense.
Right.
So you have to have a totally efficient team as well as a special team. Being efficient can hurt the offense or the defense. So if you get efficient play, you get complementary football, and you usually get great results. The thing what I was saying that is, but the second point goes, I'm on this thing, and I know a lot of people don't want to say it because the 49ers is one of our biggest rivals.
Right.
True. But we are doing we can get plagiarism because we follow their blueprint.
Yeah.
Our drafts are following their blueprint. Our offense will follow their blueprint because there is a tree built from Shanahan to Quinn to Schottenheimer to McCarthy. All of them are in the same boat. So there's a thing of saying, why does the games between us be so down the stretch and very tight contested? Because we are built the same, but we are built the same with a little better. I believe we have a little better talent, but their efficiency is what gets them over the top with us because we are not efficient on the things that we are doing. And that's cost us to lose 2 games by 13 points in the last 2 years.
Right.
So,
and on top of that, understanding too. That goes a long way because what the 49ers did, they didn't just dominate. They just beat us by us not playing with a scheme or efficiency. When you're dropping 6 and 7 defenders in the coverage there, you're supposed to run against that. So they played against our tendencies and they maximized their ability to pounce on those opportunities. And that's why I said that now we coming into a game with football sense and football knowledge, Coach.
Right. And see, this is where the word efficient, and that let's talk about when you talk about the 49ers efficiency. When you have when you preach efficiency on your offense,
right?
You make your quarterback efficient. You get efficient play out your quarterback.
True.
And regardless of who you put back there, you get the maximum out of them with the least amount of effort. That's why you can take a Brock Purdy. If he has some type of capabilities, you can get the maximum out of him without him doing much to do it, and you can make him look great. If you got a great quarterback and you make him efficient with your offense, you're going to get what we call Hall of Fame type play because his ability with his efficiency is going to make him look even bigger than life than anything else. So that's why I say that we are trying to be a more efficient complementary football team,
right?
And then we will rely on our deep defense to make scores easier for us because they're going to make scores come in the easier life.
Yeah.
That's why I say that we're following and that's why I say we're following the blueprint. People talk about why we drafted a tight end. Did we know San Francisco drafted 2 tight ends? Did they draft them to kill those catches? No. They drafted so they could be in 12 and 13 personnel, and they could be better suited to be in that type of personnel because that's what's going to make whatever quarterback they got in there efficient.
There you go.
This is where I say I like where we're going, Law.
Yeah.
I think our mantra now, we're going into OTAs. The rookies are going to first get their first taste of on-the-field training for us on this coming weekend. Now we're going to go into the mantra. I'm not even worried about picking up nothing else. Now I'm going into the mantra of what I've always talked about for the last 3 years, and you know what I'm talking about.
Talk to him.
You cannot go into this year built like this, and if you're taking that blueprint and have cupcake training camp.
No doubt. I feel exactly what you said.
That we got to go to.
Yeah.
And we go to that. I'm not worried about the offensive line. I'm not worried about the offensive line. I think the offensive line is great. It's going to be a great offensive line because, again, I say it again. Your brother knows this.
Yeah.
How many Pro Bowl offensive linemen that San Francisco had in the last 10 years? I'm going to answer for you. None except for their tackle.
Trent Williams. Yeah.
Nobody even talks about their center of their guard. Yeah. Because you have an efficient offense.
Break it down, man. Yes, indeed. So when you are efficient, you don't look. I say this all the time. When you understand and know your team, you play to the strength of your team. You know the reason why, and I'm just using this as a recent conversational piece, and we can jump off of it. The reason why the Lakers are up 3-1 right now is because they didn't try to play the Golden State Warriors way. You know you can't outshoot those boys on the perimeter. You got to win down inside, crash the board, and play good defense, and you got to be back on transition on offense and defense in order to win. This game, believe it or not, is about when you are efficient, it's not just being efficient on the outside, but be efficient from the inside. And you got to win and lean toward your skilled and crafted players. And that was a great point that you brought up by Trent Williams. He's the only guy that made it to the Pro Bowl or being all-pro for that team. And why? Because because of their philosophy and scheme. They're not trying to outthrow. Look, the Niners not trying to outthrow you, right?
And they're trying to strike you big, run power, off with speed on the edges, play physical with their tight ends and their receivers blocking because they dominate in that carry goal, and they're going to hit you with big strikes with a lot of yak yards because they always hit their receivers on the move, and they're going to attack the middle of the field at all times with the pass. So because that's where the big plays come. Because McCarthy said to his tight end coach, when I heard the interview with the tight end coach, our tight end coach said McCarthy speaks all the time. He says the fastest way to the end zone is the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. So that's where you're going to see us attack the middle of the field on a constant basis. And I'll end you with this, Law. Efficiency comes when you utilize players to their skill set the best. That's where they become efficient and you get the maximum out of them. You do not use it, and that's what coaches have to find out. That's the art of coaching. Yeah. Finding out the skill sets of what your players do well and having them do that over and over and over again.
No doubt, Coach Marv, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for all of the support that you bring to the table, bro.
All right, man. Steve talked about relentless, man. That's what we are, brother.
No doubt, man. That's Coach Marv, y'all. Put your hands together for him. Damn. All right, we got a super chat. Sanjay says, Law, they shut down the inside running game because of the interior O-line is weak versus top-tier defensive linemen. It will happen again if guarded position isn't upgraded. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Any guard that you were to draft in this particular draft, right? He would have still had to go through some growing pains. As much as we talk glowingly about Tyler Smith, we leaning on the aspect of expectations and potentials. He still allowed 6 sacks last season. That's not a good number, right? But from a rookie's aspect, hey, man, that's marvelous, man. And on top of that, I'm not saying that when you look at all of the guards that's coming out of this draft that they would not be able to make this team. But what I'm saying is that there would have still been some type of hiccups with the young guard play. So what I'm thinking is what the Cowboys are going to do is they're looking for more athletic guys inside. We love what Connor McGovern brought to the table from strength, but he had concrete blocks for feet. So it was hard for him to pull and get out to the edge. Although he's a great battering ram for a fullback, just not a guy that you pull consistently. And I think that this also goes back to the strategy and the scheme of Kellen Moore. Our pass block win rate were pretty much 31st or 32nd in the National Football League. And you're not going to get a lot of people hit with the element of surprise by running out of that suit. Why? Because, hell, we in the bottom half of the league as it relates to pass block win rate. So I think that the mindset and the philosophy should be different, and we should establish it a whole lot better now. And even if it is the old classic run to open up the pass, I think that we can be efficient with it, just like what Coach Marv said. But I agree with your concept of, hey, the Cowboys interior, as far as the offensive line, they were shut down as far as running the ball, and we couldn't run in between the tackles there. Well, there are many of teams that don't have starting offensive linemen or top-graded offensive linemen, just like what Coach Marv just said. Many of teams didn't go in the first round or second round to draft offensive linemen and still were able to run the rock. All right, so I got flying above the rest from the 469. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Nathan?
Not much, bro. Talk to me. Yeah. There we go.
Man, I've been listening to your show, man. Great show, like always.
Appreciate it, bro.
Deliver, man. You don't miss it.
Spartans! Yes, indeed.
But I want to introduce you to my world and see if I get you to think how I'm thinking about this. Now, we heard Hasselbeck and all the other guys on the 3-letter and 4-letter networks talk about how the Eagles got all this much better talent compared to us.
Yeah.
Here's what I say about that, though. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
Something that we get all the time. Our division is weak. Blase, et cetera, et cetera. I got a question for you, Law. What division got more championships than we do?
None.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we want the Eagles to have all that talent. We want them to have it. Have all the big name guys. Go ahead. Because when we bust them in their mouth twice a year, them same networks ain't gonna have nothing to say. But we're gonna tell them to get that same energy.
Yeah.
See, we want it. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? That's my philosophy. I believe that wholeheartedly. Iron sharpens iron. And you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Ain't no way around it. And that's what makes the Cowboys better. Us going against competition like the Eagles, it only makes us better. It only makes us better, which is what we all want.
Yeah.
So I really feel like we need to keep a good mindset on that. And when it comes down to just overall season, man, I agree. I believe our defense and 14 personnel, those two things going to be our identity.
Yeah.
Watch how many fronts we run out of 14 personnel. It's going to be quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the wheelhouse of it all. And I'm quite sure the Cowboys will figure out all of the other things to get things going in the best way possible, fam. I appreciate you for calling in, Chief.
Yes, sir. No problem. You all have a great day.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. I really think that people are overanalyzing the situation. They really are. They are overanalyzing the situation. They are looking at it and saying that, one team like the Cowboys fizzled out. They getting worked as it relates to the interior, et cetera. But Tyler Biadasz, in the last 2 seasons, haven't allowed 1 sack. Connor McGovern, in the last 2 seasons, only allowed 1 sack. 1 penalty, I believe, and that 1 penalty came from a situation in a scenario against the Green Bay Packers game that everybody was yelling bull sugar, right? So I get it. We are missing Connor McGovern. But I raised the question last night, like, if Connor McGovern was the end-all, be-all for our team on winning or losing down inside the trenches, then we are in terrible shape. I'm quite sure that Chuma Edoga or Forniak or Alex Lindstrom or whoever, even if they put Joshua Ball inside, right, They're going to figure this thing out as far as our interior play. I don't think that we should be looking so much into this left guard situation, whereas it's boom or bust. If the left guard can't play, then the whole team is to down. Now, I don't think that that's the situation, y'all. We don't need I know what y'all want. y'all want a first round or a second round pick on all 5 of those spots. Right, or all of those spots in the front 5, right? But that's not how football teams are being built, man. But shout out to Connor McGovern, for getting his bag, getting his paper, his coins. But scheme plays a major role at that. You got to establish the scheme, the philosophy, and the principle. Bruce Lee was 140 pounds. I'm giving him weight. He could have been 125. But he would knock over a guy that's 300 pounds. Why? Because he knows scheme, systems, philosophy, principle. And of course, he just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? If the guard position remains weak, a team with a top defensive line can ruin the whole offense. Philly, Washington, 49ers have a few of them. Need to pick up a mauler free agent guard at the cuts. I will tell you this, Sanjay, and I feel you. I'm speaking directly to you. When was the Washington Commanders front 4 ever weak? I'm gonna wait. When were they ever weak? They had both of the Bama boys. They had the other kid, Chase. They had other guys, Montez. What was his name? They had other guys on the edge. I forgot that kid's name, But they had a whole bunch of guys on their front. When were they ever weak? When have they been dominant against us? Outside of the last game of the year when we all declared that, hey, we are playing some vanilla stuff because we don't want to give too much of tape away from Tampa Bay. When did the Giants team, front 4, been weak? I think Dexter Lawrence is not his first year, nor his second year with them, nor his third year with them, right? They had the Williams kid there for many of moons, right? Yeah, they went and drafted some guys on the edge. Ojolari and all of those other boys. But when have they been weak? When have the Eagles front been weak? So we can go back and forth with talking about our division and being worried about their front, but when have they ever been weak? And what's our overall record? Alexa, what is Dak Prescott record versus the NFC East?
From statnews.com, Dak Prescott has a record of 19-13 as a starter against the NFC in the regular season and playoffs on the road in his career.
Alexa, you fired.
Aw, man.
Yeah, it's 27-7. I ain't using her no more. Be new with the $10 super chat. On God, Lord. Us Cowboy fans are crazy all year. We call McGovern trash, and then we can't live without him. TJ Bass might be able to whoop his ass right now, or Chuma, or Richards. I feel you on that. I feel you on that right now. Commanders lost to us because of poor quarterback play. In the playoff, Cowboys won't have that edge, won't have an edge. I feel you, man, but you're looking at it from an isolated situation. I feel you, though, Sanjay, and I feel you too, B, because we're not. Look, I tell you what, as dominant and as good as the Eagles were the first time they played the Cowboys, and we lost to them last year. The score was 26-17. 26-17. 26-17. That was the final score. With our quarterback, of course, he threw for 18 for 38, 181 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 3 INTs. But Ezekiel Elliott was still able to run on that massive front, for 81 yards. He only had carries of 13. What if I told you that the Cowboys, yes, the final score was 26-17, but what if I were to tell you against that dominant front that Ezekiel Elliott averaged 6.5 yards per toe, 6.2 yards per toe. Tony Pollard averaged 4 yards per toe. The quarterback threw the ball and averaged right at 4 yards per pass. We were averaging more yards on the ground than what we were averaging in the air. To that degree that even the great Jimmy Johnson, he brought out this point right here, as dominant as it appears for the Eagles to be in those earlier games. When you face them the second time, you can counter what they did. And that's what the Washington team did. When the Washington team beat the Eagles, you know what they did? They ran on those boys. If we were able to run on those guys and 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen that we had even in that particular game, and of course, our offensive line was a little bit healthier, right? But if a running back is averaging 6.5 per toe, then lo and behold, what do we needed to do in that game? That should have been a game that Ezekiel Elliott had 25 to 30 carries. That should have been a game that the Cowboys ran the rock. But when you don't have the levels of consistency, what you going to get? Inconsistency, right? That's just how it goes, man. 6 yards per carry, just the past season, washed up. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, and Zeke destroyed the Niners. Yeah, this is from my guy Choctaw, Montana. So what was Zeke average versus the 49ers with the question mark? Let me say this. When were the 49ers front four ever bad? And when we beat the 49ers, minus the last 2 times we played them, how did we beat them? We ran the ball to open up the pass. Matter of fact, I don't want you guys to start building things for the future against something that was temporarily. Yes, the Niners beat us the last 2 visits, but they only rushed 4 and they dropped 6 and 7 DBs. The running thing was there. All you have to do to beat the Niners is run the rock. We beat those guys in 2020 by running the ball. Tony Pollard got out. I think that they still had a good front then. But I don't want you guys to think that, oh man, here comes the Niners. We can't stop the Niners. Run the ball. That's temporarily. You run the ball. Matter of fact, if the Cowboys decided to run the ball the last 2 times versus the Niners, we wouldn't even be talking about trying to put a long-term solution for a temporary fix. Run the ball, proper scheme. Put it like this. I kid you not. Slay literally said, hey, the Cowboys gave us the blueprint on how to beat the 49ers. Right? Let me know, yes or no. Yes or no? Put that in the chat. Yes or no? Didn't Slay say that too? You got to run the ball on them. You got to run the ball. Y'all, like the Niners were undefeated last year. But you can't run the ball out of shotgun, you know. You can't run the ball going empty. Jalen Hurts beat the Cowboys last year by 26-17. Let me tell y'all this. If Dak Prescott is under center and healthy, 26 points will not save him. He going to have to put up 30 or 40 points. It's going to be a shootout. All right, let me get these other callers in. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. But the name is Law Nation. I got from the 757 Banks. You're live.
Law was good, man.
What's good with you, man?
Good to have Flame Kellerman, man. What was talking about, man? Why everybody so worried about the left guard position, man? We got not again this year, man. Not again this year, man. Look, I want to go. Just look at the guys, man. You go back to even like Ron Leary, man, undrafted, man. We don't always need a first round, second round pick, man. Just coming out the draft, because who says they gonna even pan out? Even, you know what I'm saying? He'd be good. So that's something. If the left guard position is gonna make or break this team, man, we got a big problem, man. And that's gonna make or break how our season go. So I just tell people, man, let's not worry about it this year. Going all season, all training camp, worried about the left guard position. Like we did left tackle last year. Yeah. So I just don't think it's that big. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion.
No, it's not. You're not going to get a Hall of Famer. I get what people are saying, but you're not going to get a Hall of Famer on all 5 spots. No. And to be fair, not only one person in the early 90s were drafted in the first round at O-line. This goes back to scheme, philosophy, and coaching. Coaching figure out ways to make things efficient, And if you thinking that you need to have a first round draft pick in all of the spots, then you're losing a third of your ground or your footing there. You're gonna have to coach these guys up, and they're gonna have to fit into a certain scheme. You just can't do a collections of plays. You got to have an identity. And the Cowboys in the last 15 years didn't have a real identity on the offense. They didn't.
No, and even look at it, man. Even back, you want to go back to Dak's rookie year, 2016 and 2014. It's always, even to look at the offense, how good offensive line, how good it was those years. It's always going to be one what you consider a weak link out of, the 5 offensive linemen. You're gonna have a Doug Free, or you might have had even how good it was, maybe Ron Leary. Ron Leary was good, but he might have been seen, so somewhat the weak link compared to everybody else that you had on the offensive line. So, and that, man, it just, as far as the interview, Matt Hasselbeck and them, man, that's what I talk about when people analyze the Cowboys, man, they just shoot from the hip. Yep. They just shoot from the hip. They don't know. They on the outside looking in. They just say anything that comes to their mind, man, and create their own narrative. Hey, Dak is putting that like Cooks as a top 5 receiver. No. What he's saying is, hey, like you said, this guy, I got somebody better than what I had last year, Noah Brown, and guys like that coming in. So, and stuff like that. But like I said, everybody create their own narrative. But I think we'll be better this year. I think we're gonna utilize, like you said, our resources. And that's the main thing, man. Get your playmakers involved. When guys not doing well, it might not be that guy game. Times we got caught last year running behind a hurt Zeke, when maybe we should have been using Malik Davis more. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you should have
schemed and have a plan. Yeah. So for the people that's out there, what were our plans against the 49ers? What was our strategy to beat them? Right? We didn't have a game plan. We didn't have a concept. We just said, okay, we're gonna drop 3 and 4 wide receivers and trust Dak to win the game. There was no concept, no plan, no principle. You got to have a philosophy, and what I'm saying is collectively that the Cowboys didn't have a plan or philosophy. They don't make you play one way or another, right? They don't make you do those things. So that's just the bottom line. I appreciate you, Banks, for calling in.
Yeah, Law.
Thank you, bro. Good call from him. Let me see if I got another super chat. Appreciate y'all for the super chat. Let's go right here. Let's see. got a super chat. Let me see if we can read a super chat. Sanjay says the Eagle O-line was 49ers D-line. Backwards, moving 49ers defensive line backwards, while the 49ers D-line was moving our O-line back to Dak. That's why they dropped 6 in coverage. Well, like I said before, the edges were there. The Cowboys refused to have a plan. Well, I'll tell you what. Show me the plays where we came up with a concept of getting to the edges. Show me the play where we came up with a concept of. I'll tell you what. How many touches did Malik Davis had in that game? Okay. How many attempts did Malik Davis rush for? Right. And let me know. How many touches did the Eagles' other running backs had in that game? And let me know how many touchdowns did Jalen Hurts threw in that game too. Let me know how many touchdowns did Jalen Hurts threw against the 49ers, right? So we go back and forth talking about O-line concepts, principles, and things like that, but they had a philosophy when they played against the 49ers. We didn't. They had principles that they put in place. We didn't. And those are the things. And to give kudos and credence to the Eagles, they do have a real good offensive line, right? They do have a real good offensive line. But I'm quite sure that the real difference maker of their team is pretty much also their philosophy and scheme, not just one individual, not just one. But I appreciate you for your super chat. And I thank you for your support. All right, so we got Shisha Queen to be Queen Cowboy. You're live from the 910. You're live.
Hey, Law. Hey,
What's
Cowboy
good?
Nation. Law, everybody is going crazy about this guard situation. I am really tired of hearing about it. I think that Mike McCarthy, Will McClay, Dan Quinn, I believe, and the other coaches, I believe they have everything under control. We good. We are good. And as far as us losing against San Francisco last year, I already knew we were going to lose to San Francisco before we even got on the field.
Wow.
Because our minds were not right.
Yeah, you still
our minds wasn't right.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
mental plays a big part of what you do when you go out there on that doggone field.
Yeah.
You heard what Mike McCarthy said after that game? Come on now.
Yeah.
Our minds wasn't right, and they were supposed to set the tone. We had a weak-ass O-line coach.
Get him. Yeah.
That we needed to replace the year before. Probably after the first year that we had him, we should have got rid of him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Right.
And also, we could have beat the Eagles the first game with Cooper Rush. But he wanted to go out there.
Preach to him.
50 million times with doggone Cooper Rush. We could have beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
So it's not the team. It's not the team. And the team is better. We just need to get our minds right. We need to get that dog mentality going, and we don't need to wait till we get on the field and get ready to play the 49ers before we decide we're going to get physical. We need to be physical from preseason all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
that's what we
indeed.
need to do.
Yeah. Woo!
And
Appreciate
also,
you.
all we need to do is let them hang.
Let them hang to the window, to the wall, to the sweat, to the sweat. Let them hang, baby. Ski. I appreciate you, Quinn. Thank you. I forgot where I was at. Yes, indeed. Oh. All right, so I just looked at the information for the nation. Christian McCaffrey, right? He was averaging 5.6 yards per tote on those Eagles' mighty front four, right? Oh, and excuse me. On the opposing side, Kenneth Gainwell, Sanders, and Jalen Hurts, all of those guys had over 44 attempts rushing. They had a concept and escape. Oh, excuse me. Even with their massive offensive line, they weren't averaging, dare I say, 4 yards per tote. Those boys were averaging 2.5, 3.5 yards per tote. So Jalen Hurts was 15 for 25, 121 yards. He averaged throwing the ball 4.5 yards per throw. So it's not like he toasted those boys. Now, granted, the score is 31-7. And we can all argue that, hey, I know some people right now that's in the chat. I think, let's say, Williams. I think that he can probably throw better than Joshua Johnson. Come on, man. He was 7 for 13. Hey, come on, man. His QBR was 13.4 or 13.3. And then Brock Purdy, his QBR was 3.3. I'm quite sure that Brock Purdy would have been toasting those boys up because before he got hurt, he was 4 for 4. So let's just understand that. If Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, the concepts would have been different. It would have been different, and it could have been a different type of score. But shout out to the outcome, because I can't stand the 49ers, I'm going to let y'all know, and I definitely can't stand the Eagles. So when I got a chance to watch the Super Bowl, and I saw this dude by the name of Pat Mahomes, shout out to him, a Texas native, burn up those Eagles. I said, yeah, but it had me sweating just a little bit, it had me sweating a little bit. My brother called me. I got another brother that's an Eagles fan. He called me. He said, how about them Eagles? But y'all let me know, did he call me after the game? Did he say anything after the game? No, he didn't call me at all. He was hurt. There's an APB alert out still for him. I let him get his sleep though. All year, 0 excuses, man. We just took it on the chin. We stood tall. Our offensive line is the best. Our defensive line is the best. Our wide receivers is the best. Our quarterback MVP Hurts. And then at the end of the Super Bowl, when the all smoke and mirrors is gone, he was saying that the NFL is rigged. Oh, I said, so now the NFL is rigged? Now you saying that the slippery field is slippery? You can't get off to the edges. You can't utilize your defensive front guys that's supposed to all be in the Hall of Fame. So now the NFL is rigged? Come on, man. It's rigged. They don't want our brother to win the Super Bowl. I said, hold on, man. Pat Mahomes black. You can't use that race card. He said, well, damn, man, leave me alone, Law. I said, no, you can't use that one. Both of them. There were 2 brothers in there. Actually 4 brothers. So you can't use that as an excuse now. My brother was trying to pull out anything and everything he could find. Yes, it did. I said, no. Don't be calling the NFL rigged now, because all during the season, you was on the winning column, and you was sitting there calling, how about them Eagles? How about them Eagles? They can't handle the truth. That's just what it is.
The conference has been launched.
They can't handle it. Speaking of that, I got my guy for the 206. You in the mix. MJ, you're live.
What up, Law Nation?
Oh, man, all is well, man.
Man, your coach made some good points. I just want to make some good points to all the fans. Hit them likes for Law Nation. Let's get them rocking. Point 1. You guys got to remember, everybody don't have all pros on their offensive line.
In every spot,
everybody.
Yeah.
In every spot. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys, 78 going to be back and better.
Yeah.
Then you got number 70 as a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Then the center don't give up sacks. And then whoever put at the guard, even Tyler Smith, I already got that hint when Tyler Smith came out today and said, I'll play anywhere. So what he's saying, put me at guard and let 77 play tackle.
Yeah.
That's what I think it's going to be. And then if 77 go down, like he usually do, then 73 will go back, and then one of them young boys, whoever play, or the guy from Atlanta, he could play the guard. So guard, and they want, like you say, Law, they want guards that could move. Because when you got guards that can move, it makes them big nose tackles. If they slow and pudgy, it burns their legs out. So they be wore out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They like you to come straight forward, then that's how they play. But when you got guards that be moving, if y'all watch Green Bay beat us back in the day with a patched up lineup and was running all on us. So the coach that we got now, he used to that. That's why he like interchangeable players that if somebody go down, he just plug and play.
You talking about 2014, right? You know, in that playoff game, you know. Yeah. We had the better offensive line.
Yeah,
we had the better offensive line.
He put a patch up offensive line against us and beat us. So
and the quarterback had one leg too. But Dez did caught it though. Dez caught that one though. You know, Dez did caught it.
Yeah. But you know, and another thing, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not close to the Cowboys. Philadelphia has to bring all these players in. I'm gonna give y'all an example. When Georgia played Ohio State, that showed me them boys ain't that tough. Y'all got to remember, in that Georgia game, that receiver, Harris, hurt his leg, and that's how Georgia won again. He was killing the cornerback that I'm glad the Cowboys didn't get.
Eli, you know, you're talking about from Georgia, Keely Ringo.
Yeah, Keely Ringo was getting torched. And that's a year before, too, when that receiver that went to Detroit was killing Georgia. They was going 30 minutes, man. They was killing him. So when Georgia teams play, they have more talent than a lot of the other teams. And that's how they be embarrassing. And it makes the corners look good because they front seven be good, better than all the other college. You in the NFL now, bro. It's mano on mano, and it's even now. So I'm not even worried about that. Them boys, like you say, Law, they got to come in and play and show they work. Now they finna play against people that's better than them, on the same level than them, and can punch them in the mouth just like they can punch people in the mouth. So the Cowboys team, the Cowboys team was already deep on the defense. Yeah. They just needed our deep tackles. We needed another deep tackle that could play to help our linebackers. We got that now. So they don't know where we coming. Our defense is going to be top 5, and the best thing, I'm going to tell y'all something.
Talk to us, man. Before I let you go.
The Cowboy offense, and Law showed y'all what was the quarterback from Seattle when Shottamore and that. And then, let me give y'all a question on this, y'all. The Cowboy offensive line always been better than Seattle offensive line. And that quarterback that used to quarterback Wilson, when he quarterback for Seattle, his offensive line was the worst, and they still made him. Look at his numbers: 41 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 30-some touchdowns, 7 interceptions. What you think Dak Prescott about to have with the running? Oh, and another thing, the Cowboys never had a screen game. So, Justin, so you guys don't panic. If Dak throw 40 passes, which 30 of them will be real passes, but the other 10 will be on the line of scrimmage. Screen. And they're going to take them to the house. So right now, Philadelphia, I'm telling y'all something. Philadelphia is so nervous.
Yes, indeed.
Philly is nervous of the Cowboys, and we got a complete team now. We got a coaching staff that's coaching on the same level. Everybody's in cahoots. The owners out of the way. We about to go to the Super Bowl. I think we finally finna get that W.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. I appreciate you, MJ, man. Good call from me, man. Yes, indeed. You know, what I'm gonna do here. Good points from him, though. Good points from him. And I'm seeing some of my people jumping in, man. Some of the Eagles fans. I appreciate y'all for jumping in, man. Please, mods, don't block them, man. Let them have their conversation in the chat. Long as they are not being disrespectful, you know. I think we had a super chat too, man. Let me go back and make sure we get these super chats. Let me see if there's anyone else before we let the next caller on. And we should have a difference of opinions, right? We should have a different thought track. 85 GT says, I find it extremely weird how She-Go fans hang in Cowboys chat in YouTube communities. do they not have their own ish? You know, they don't, man. They don't, you know. You know, they don't. They love talking about us, man, and talking with us about us. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Dwayne Brown says 24 games or won over 2 years. Our offensive line haven't been great, but the games we lost over 2 years, was it because of the offensive line? Yes, we can improve up front. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Let me find it.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
Yeah. My thoughts with this is we always had these reservations with this offense, right? Offensive line. I recall like we were all banging on the table saying, there's no way we should bring back Terrence Steele at right tackle. No way, man. He's not going to be that guy, you know. And then it got to the point where we started fighting for him, right? We were sitting there like, man, after 2020, I don't think that there was a lot of guys that were sitting there banging on the table, Terrence Steele. After 2020, there are a lot of people like, man, come on, man. We need to draft an offensive tackle, you know. And after that year, it was La'el Collins, right? Gained weight, had the car accident or what have you, gained about 20 or 30 pounds. And we were sitting there like, man, 2021, we about to be doomed. And then we started watching the game after 1 week, 1 to 2 weeks. We like, hey, low key. We were all saying the same thing, right? Branday, appreciate you for your super chat. And DT, we were all saying the same thing, low key. Shoot, Terrence Steele, yeah, that boy good, you know. And then he was so good that people were arguing, hey man, but La'el Collins was better though, you know. And all of us were saying, shoot, our solution is right there. It's right there. Just kick big La'el Collins inside as guard, and he'll be in the phone booth with all of that size. But the argument was, hey man, he ain't a guard, he's a tackle. He ain't a guard, he's a tackle. He ain't a guard, he's a tackle. And we had Duke Manyweather to say, hey, shoot, Terrence Steele, I've been working with him, man. Just keep him at right tackle. Keep him at right tackle. Keep him at right tackle. And then all of a sudden we started doing the goofy stuff, right?
Gosh, something wrong here.
And then we started moving him all around like chess piece. So what I'm saying is we fought to get back to this spot right here. Let's just go with this right now, y'all. Look, I know Tyron Smith. I mean, he get hurt, he get injured. We going to have to expect that. But Tyler Smith at left guard will be sufficient. Tyler Biadasz will be sufficient. Zach Martin will be great. And on top of that, Terrence Steele. But what if I told you back in 2021, right? And I know 2022, we had got hit up with all of those type of crazy things with Tyron Smith in the start of the year. But what if I told you guys that in 2021, that this guy by the name of Tyron Smith, he pretty much was healthy. He got hurt by friendly fire. He got hurt by the left guard falling into him. You know, not like he just got hurt naturally or organically. He got hurt for friendly fire. And when Tyron Smith looked bad in most games, was due to the fact that he was trying to help Connor Williams out back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a blessing that if we can fool around and have this front five to solidify itself the proper way, then everything else will work its way out just by this lineup alone, right? But we still got to know that Tyron Smith may get hurt. But what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be okay with this offensive line. We are going to be okay, man. Yes, indeed. All right, I got from the 607, you're live.
Yo, Law, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Talk to me, man.
Man, talk to you. Yo, you know, because I was calling for a minute, but I had to sit back, relax, draft come in, take the aftermath of the season. You know, see what we did. You know, I see Micah talking. You know, I love Micah, man. Like, he just brings so much good energy that we need.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's a dog.
Yeah,
and it's You know what I'm saying? And he's a dog, and and we have a player that people are gonna follow and they're gonna ride with him. And it's like, then we got Dak, and it's just like I hear everybody talking, and everybody's excited, and he's like legitly Law, like we're like Rodgers like left, and you do the adds and the subtractions, and everybody's talking about Philly, but let's be clear, Philly's got rookies. It's first-year players coming to the NFL, D-line, big positions. You don't think we got their number? We've always had their number. We're not scared of going Philly. We're damn sure not scared of going Dallas and beat these guys. It's not nothing. It's just that we slip up during the season with a couple games, and then all of a sudden we're up like 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden Philly comes back, and then the pressure's on, and then some BS happens. We should have had a first round seed this year. We should have been sitting back. It could have been different with that bye. You never know. It would have been different.
No doubt.
But you know what? And now they're talking about the offensive line. Listen, Tyron Smith's healthy, 100%. He's a Hall of Famer all the day. But I'm never looking at that side. I'm not scared of that side when he's 100%.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. But we know he gets hurt.
Right. We do. Yeah.
We know he gets hurt. So we know we got him for a couple games. We just got to pick and choose. It's like kind of like, do we load manage him? Like NBA? Do we kind of do something like that with him? Because it's about the end of the season, and it's about us hitting the stride. Yeah, all right. That season was a mirage, man. He got hurt. Dak has never been that type of quarterback.
Right. Ooh, break that down right quick, man. Hey, what's your name? What's your name before you go into more?
DJ, man. I'm upstate, man.
DJ, where you from?
Yeah, man. I'm from Binghamton.
Singleton. Okay.
I was calling you, and then you're like, oh, yo, give me the information of Buffalo and everything like that.
Oh, okay.
I called you like, yeah, so.
Oh, well, it must be a different number, though, for some reason. Oh, I didn't save it in there. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, yeah, I was like, man, I mean, now you sound familiar. Man, voice.
Man, Law, I listen to you every day. It's a regular, but
yeah.
When we're talking about Dak, let's be serious. He's always got one of the best quarterback ratings. He's always best fourth quarter. He comes back. It's just the fact of the matter is, Kellen Moore was putting this in him in a position to throw the effing ball when he doesn't need to throw the ball. Like when we're in Green Bay, we're up by 14 in the fourth quarter. Give Zeke and give Howard the ball.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we got a coach that understands our strengths. And then off that, we do the play action, and it's over. After play action, Dak Prescott's one of the best quarterbacks. I mean, I'm just going freestyle, but I'm damn sure that he's one of the best quarterbacks off play action.
He is. He one of the better quarterbacks off of play action.
You know?
Yeah.
And get this. We're not even looking at our defense. And you give us Gilmore? Hold on. You give us Gilmore?
Yeah.
You give us Gilmore on the other side? And then Anthony Brown, all right, cool. He's not a bad corner, but all right, he could back up. And then we got that boy Bland, and then we got them young boys at linebacker. We got a little D tackle. We got a D tackle in the first round. I kind of was like, if the tight end was there, or like a running back. I was so sick when Bijan went 8th overall. I was like, oh my, I was like sick. And then they started going off the board. But I kind of thought about it. I'm like, yo, these boys the running back is like this year kind of changed because it's kind of necessity. But I'm surprised, Law. I'm really surprised that nobody like us really not looking at Derrick Henry. Like I'm surprised we didn't get a big back. Like we got
we'll find out, man. Upstate, man, New York, man. I feel you, man. I got these other guys I got to get in though, but I appreciate you.
Yo, you already know, man. DC for life. You're gonna hear me again, man. I love you, Law, man. Keep
Much
it up,
love.
bro.
Appreciate you, man. Good call from him, man. Good call from him. So yeah, I mean, that's what they want to make it about. Is they want to make it about the Cowboys versus Eagles. They want to make it about that. And if they about that, let that be the week 1 game. Let that be the week 1 game. We healthy, they healthy. Everybody healthy. Let that be the week 1 game. But they're going to make the Jets the week 1 game. Y'all know New York need that ratings, So regardless, whether it's week 1, week 2, it don't matter. Baby, the Cowboys, we coming. Pause. But we're going to be ready. Let's go. Cowboy Nation, let's go. I got my guy, Jamie from the 774. You're live.
Law, how are you, my brother?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great.
That's good to hear, man. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. For years, every draft, I was always about looking for the shiny player, the running back, the flashy wide receiver. You know what I mean? For years, until November 12, 2017, Adrian Claiborne came into the building and completely destroyed our quarterback single-handedly. I'm still having nightmares about that game, Law.
Yeah.
So that's why, man. Now I'm all about the beast offensive line, the
up front,
all about that right now. The up front, all about building that offensive line, man, because that's where it starts, man. That's the foundation, is the offensive line. With no offensive line, man, you really ain't got much. You know, we seen what happened when we had the Chaz Green. You know,
keep going, because see, this is what I'm saying. What I was saying earlier, Jay, is that those were the old philosophy ways. We didn't have any way of correcting that. We sat there and let Chaz Green get in there and stay at that spot to get your quarterback killed. Anybody else at that time would have figured out a way to put a chip on that side to make sure that the running back fall to that side or a tight end to cover up or stop the bleeding. But what happened here is that you had a guy that didn't have a plan, didn't have a strategy, didn't have the understanding and knowledge to make sure to keep your second-year quarterback upright. And what we're doing is we taking some of those pains, and I feel you, Jay, and we're applying it to this team. Last year, we had 4 out of the 5 guys moved around on the offensive line, and we were 12-5 last year. If we had this coach that was there in 2019, I promise you, we wouldn't have won those games because we wouldn't have gotten over the offensive line woes. The talent, the skill set was there, but we didn't have the ability to make the adjustments.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You literally just took the words right out of my mouth, man. When they took Chaz Green out, they had no answer. They put in, I think it was Byron Bell or something like that. And as soon as he came in, he gave up another 2 sacks right after that, dude. They had no answer, man. They just didn't know how to.
It didn't matter whether it was Claiborne was on fire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they could have went in their bag and found the best left tackle ever that played the game. I think that he would have still got off on that edge. Sometimes you are in your bag. Right. So the Cowboys should have chipped. Yeah, they should have chipped. They should have put somebody on that side to stop the bleeding. I would have dedicated a running back. I would have dedicated a tight end. But when you are, smelling yourself, or when you're not having the ability to make the adjustments, you allow those things to leak through.
Keyword adjustment. That was the key word. You just said it right there.
Right.
It's all about adjustment.
Right. And the Cowboys didn't do that in the past. Yeah. I appreciate you, Jay.
They had no answer for it. Hey, listen, all you take care, brother, and keep it up. Keep up the great work, man. We all love you, brother.
Much love to you as well, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you, man. Good call although there was a lot of reverb in there. But you guys get what I'm saying. See, these are the things that Mike McCarthy had nothing to do with, right? But he get cast under the same spell from the 4-letter, 3-letter network, right? The shadows of the issues with this team is now on the feet of my guy Mike McCarthy, right? That's just how it goes. The accident waiting to happen. Oh, what can go wrong will go wrong. Oh, the Cowboys not going to be X, Y, and Z. Coaching do matter. I seen someone earlier. I'm seeing someone earlier that was in the chat saying, well, if coaching were everything, then explain to me why Bill Belichick haven't won a Super Bowl since Tom Brady left. But see, what people tend to do, they acting like Tom Brady went from the Patriots to Tampa Bay team that didn't have good coaching. Tampa Bay had damn good coaching. On top of that, it wasn't just Tom Brady by himself. Because also within the confines of that, they had some guys to come along with Tom Brady. But what happened is the Mandela effect would enter the room, and by 10 years from now, people will only think that it was Tom Brady, right? Not the people that came with him during their free agency time frame, is what I'm saying. People like to put one person and elevate that person up. But in actuality, football is an ultimate team sport. Ultimate team sport. Yeah. Brady brought Gronk, AB with him in the offensive playbook and ran the show. Yup. And that defense was terrible. I mean, terribly good, I meant to say. Not terrible, but terribly good. One can argue people were more impressed about that defense than the actual offense of what it was doing. I mean, I'm not saying that Bill Belichick is chopped liver, but didn't he make it to the playoff with Mac Jones? Come on, man. They made it to the playoff, didn't they? In the last 2-3 years, right? I'm just saying. I'm not saying that he could walk on water, but, you know, from the 281, you're alive. It just, Charles, man, what's good, man? You live, dog. Talk to me, man.
What's going on, Cowboy Nation?
Nothing to it.
I'm just over here cutting up some flyers, man, trying to do some advertisement, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Bring that bread home.
Oh, yeah. That's what we do.
Question I was going to ask you. I know we took Luke Schoonmaker in round 2, right?
Right, true.
You know, tight end was a position of need. Some of us thought more than others. And at that pick 26, we had Osiris Torrance sitting there. He's not an athletic guard, but he was ranked the number 1 guard in the draft, even though he played on the right side. He wasn't very athletic. He wasn't good at getting at the second level, but he was big, powerful. You know, he can move bodies. Do you think that was a mistake not taking him while he fell to us at pick 26? No, I mean, at pick 58, actually. Pick 58 of all. I mean, late in the second round, the best offensive guard ranked. You know what I mean? I know Steve Avila went first, but top-ranked offensive guard, Paul Scholes at rank at number 58. I think it was a mistake not taking him and then taking a tight end in the 5th. What do you think about that?
Well, we don't know. You know, they had a certain philosophy and principle of what they're going to look for out of a tight end and what they wanted a tight end to do versus a guard and what they're looking for a guard to do. So we will find out. It normally take 3 years to grade a draft, and I can sit back and say, yeah, last year your top tackles and guards, Charles Cross, right? Neal, he was a top-rated guard, right? Or tackle.
Yeah.
None of those guys perform better than Tyler Smith, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that we don't know. I would like to circle back and look back at this next year. Trust me, Torrance, he'd probably be a good dog for us right now. He'd probably be that guy that we can all look back and say, damn, man, we missed out on that opportunity. But let's see how he will be utilized and used. What team did Torrance went to, by the way?
The team that picked right after us. Who was that? I know Buffalo, Jacksonville. Yeah,
Jacksonville. He went to Jacksonville. So he's going to a team that you probably won't see no drop off from his game. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a real good team or what have you. They're a playoff team, and he'll be beneficial for them. But let's see how all of this panned out down the line. I'm all in on the guys that we got now. The draft is over with. We can't put the toothpaste back into the tube at this point. And I'm just going to roll with what we got right now. But I feel your concerns, though. I do.
Yeah. It's just what I was saying yesterday. You know, if Asim Richards or Chuma, you know, could, you know, step up and, you know, take that. Because I know that caller earlier said left guard, you know, he don't think it's that big of a need. But in January, it really is. Because in January, you know, formula to win a football games is running that football, playing good defense. And to be able to run the football on a San Francisco defensive line or an Eagles defensive line, you got to have a good front five. And, you know, unless they know something we don't, that Tyron Smith's got some new state-of-the-art surgery, that he's going to play all 19 games or 20 games, whatever it is that we played this year. When we get to Vegas in February, if Ty Smith can play the whole season, all 17 regular season games and the whole playoff run, and Tyler go to left guard, we're golden. You know what I mean? We are golden. But that's the only if. Can Tyron Smith play all season?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we shall see. And like you were saying, Elliott, he still got game, man. First 15 weeks of the season, he played 13 games. He missed 2. He was averaging 4.2 yards a carry, which is not bad for the power back. And the 2 games he missed was Chicago and Green Bay. And if he was playing in the Green Bay game, we don't lose that game. Because in the fourth quarter, he salts it away. That's why we had to keep passing the ball against Green Bay in the fourth quarter, because Pollard had no more left in the tank. He was gassed. And Elliott was he was in street clothes. If Elliott was playing that game, we would have gotten at least a field goal in the fourth quarter. And it would have went, 31-28 in our favor and not have to go to overtime. So I would love to see him be wearing 15 with a stole on his helmet this season. But we shall see.
Let me ask you this. Before I let you roll, though. And it's the year 2020. And I'm going to name out these offensive tackles. And let me know who would you rather have, and based upon the value. Jadarick Willis, Alabama. Mekhi Becton. He was one of those guys that was drafted. Andre Thomas, Tristan Wirfs, Cesar Ruiz, Josh Jones, and John Simpson. Which one of those offensive linemen you would have wanted out of the 2020? Tristan Wirfs. Right.
Yeah.
Now, based upon that, is he a better value than Terrence Steele?
No.
Right. And Terrence Steele wasn't even drafted. You see what I'm saying? So
exactly, yeah.
At this point, we got to lean on this front office and trust their assessment with his offensive line situation.
Yeah, I hope so. Because it needs to be a strong 5 like we had in the 90s. You know what I mean? Mark Nate, Larry Allen, Mark Stepnoski, or Kevin Gogan, they both play center. Big old Nate Newton and Larry Allen. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, Eric Williams. That was like the best offensive line maybe in NFL history.
No doubt, man.
I mean, and it was like they were so good that the other team knew what we were going to do, but we were so good, our talent was so good that we just Larry Allen, go beat your guy. Stepnoski, go beat your guy. Williams, go beat your guy. Michael Irvin, and it was just probably the greatest talent ever assembled. You know what I mean?
No doubt, bro.
I hope we can get it. I hope we can get close to that this season.
Well, we should find our way, man. Appreciate you so much, bro. Thank you for calling in, by the way. DC for life.
DC for life. How about them Cowboys?
How about them, man? Appreciate you, man. Good call from my guy. All right, so you guys get what I'm saying, and of course, I'm not crazy to say that this team would be better with one of those guys, but we talking about value. And I think this is a better list. I think if you guys can see it from here. Here we go. Boom. Here, let me go way. I got to go way over here so you guys can see it. Bear with me. Yeah, you guys should be able to see it now. These are the top offensive linemen that came out in 2020 draft. We got a guy that was undrafted. I don't think he would even touch the tip of any of these guys on this list. I don't see his name at all. They got Tyler Biotis way down here in 2020. And we are arguing over, hey, should we even pay Terrence Steele? And everybody back on the table, man, go ahead and pay the man, right? Now, granted, Tristan Wirfs, I think that's how you say that man's name. He's a good tackle. He's a real good guy. Let me pull up his resume right quick. Hold on, y'all bear with me. So we could be talking about the same thing a couple years from now. Yep, he allowed 2 sacks last season. He averaging allowing 2 or 3 sacks a season. Terrence Steele wasn't doing that. And granted, he was hurt or what have you. So it is what it is. Don't fall. Look, let these guys go to their teams and be good for their own respective ways, right? All right, so let's go with Stargazer from the 214. You're live.
What's up, Law? How you doing?
No, all is well. Can't complain. Yeah, I can't complain.
Good. So I just wanted to call in briefly to talk about one thing, the offensive line, but also the schedule. Because I know the schedule will be released tomorrow.
Yep.
And so, I think I agree with you because I believe I heard you say we should play the Eagles first. Yeah. That's who I would want to play first, just to get that settled that Dak still owns the NFC East. But I don't think that they're going to do that. They'll probably save that to later on the year. But who I do think that they probably will put us up in front of first is the 49ers. And I think they're going to put us up in front of them first because just imagine the narrative. They're probably already writing the articles because if we face the 49ers week 1, we don't beat them. That just gives them more ammo to, crap on Dak Prescott, crap on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
The right period. He couldn't, they should have kept Kellen Moore because obviously Mike don't know what he's doing. So I definitely think it's probably going to be the 49ers first, but I am hearing rumors that it's going to be the Giants, apparently.
It's going to be a New York team. Yeah. And if I'm the schedule makers, I'm trying to make the first 3 games the hardest schedule ever possible for the Cowboys. Because even if the Cowboys win, you're going to get some good stuff and good content out of it. Or even if it's a situation where they lose, you can start saying, hey, coach is on a hot seat. You got so much material like, hey, brand new offensive line coach, brand new offensive coordinator. And if I'm that, I would try to make the Cowboys schedule the hardest for the first 3 games, and I'll try to make the Chargers schedule the easiest so that I can play on that too, And I would try to put that up. Believe it or not, they did that last year for us. We had no shot at this, after we won.
Right.
No shot at it.
The Super Bowl winner and the contender in the first 3 weeks, or the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. So
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would definitely, if I'm the schedule maker, I'm sitting here like I'll give it a little soft cushion in the middle, but I'll make it hard as possible on the front end and a little soft cushion in the middle a little bit. Then I make it hard on the end because now that story paints itself. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, love to talk about the Cowboys. So that's what I would do if I'm a schedule maker. Yeah.
And I feel like what better team to face than the team that's knocked us out of the playoffs 2 years in a row back to back. But we'll see what they do. I don't know if I'm believing the Giants. It probably will be the Jets, as you said, because I know last year they kept saying it was the Jaguars. But
right.
Obviously that wasn't true.
So here it is right here. To make it hard, Jets, Eagles, Niners. First 3 weeks.
Yep. That's literally probably going to be the schedule because they want to be able to spin the narrative that it's Dak Prescott, it wasn't Kellen Moore, that Mike McCarthy really doesn't know what he's doing. Like they are ready to spin those narratives so that they can crap on us all season. I already know. So, but we'll see what they do. But anyway, moving on to the offensive line.
Talk to me.
So I'm with you, as well as Queen, Cowboy, as well as the other 2 callers that were before me. In the sense of we don't need to be worried about the offensive line, and I sympathize and empathize with everybody who was panicking after the draft because obviously we put in a lot of work. We didn't see the guys, the offensive linemen that we want drafted.
Right.
So that sent us into a panic, and everybody was super high on those tackles / guards. Roderick Jones, Paris Johnson Jr., Peter Skoronski. Everybody was hoping that we would be able to land one of those guys, and we didn't. And so I get why people are upset about it and they think that the Cowboys are playing games, but I think I don't think that there's Goofy in the bill. Well, there's Jerry and Steven, right?
You said it.
Something wrong here.
Go ahead.
But Jerry and Steven, I think, guys, have learned. And I know from years past they screwed us, right? Because last year we went in, as people said, we bought into we'll be fine with no wide receivers. We were all upset at first, but then after the draft, everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid, and then come to find out the wide receivers burned us. But my question for Cowboys Nation is, did we do that this year?
Nope.
We went in and got Brandon Cooks. Did we say, let's just get some random, like we typically do, let's get Darryl Worley. Yeah, he'll come in and play cornerback too for us. It'll be no problem. Or did we go and get a guy with Hall of Fame pedigree in Stephon Gilmore? The Cowboys, I already said before, but we got rid of Kellen Moore. We let Mike take full. Not only did we fire Kellen Moore, because the Cowboys could have, if they were still on the goofy stuff, they could have fired Kellen Moore, but then made Mike hire another guy that is their guy to call plays.
Yeah, they could have.
But yet, they gave Mike full control, and Mike is calling plays.
Yep.
So, we have to, but anyway, the key to us not being worried about the offensive line is Coach Mike Solari.
Yeah.
Coach Mike Solari is a damn good offensive line coach. You can go back and check his history, check his line in Seattle, check his line when he was the 49ers land, check his line when he was the Chiefs offensive line coach. This man knows what he's doing, and one huge thing that we should focus on is the philosophy change. Because many people think that it was our offensive line that went down, but I did a breakdown on my channel about why our offensive line is going to dominate in 2023. And we have to remember we're switching schemes.
Yep.
Because I didn't even know this, but we've primarily been relying on the outside zone scheme. With Bryden Schottenheimer, we're going to go to the inside zone scheme, and y'all can, I'm not going to tell y'all everything, but y'all can look at my video, and it'll show you the difference between schemes and reason why people like Zeke wasn't looking good, like Zach Martin, sometimes his film wasn't looking great. All of our linemen, not even just that, all of our linemen at points in times in the season was not looking good. And I think because our philosophy was not to dominate the guys in front of us like it was in 2016. When we had the great, the second coming of the Great Wall.
No doubt.
But I do want to ask the question, Law. Was Ronald Leary our left guard in 2016?
I'm quite sure he was the left guard, but actually, in 2016, Ron Leary. People fail to realize this is a good point right here. Ron Leary lost his job 2 times to La'el Collins. But the problem was that La'el Collins got hurt, and it forced Leary back into the starting spot.
Okay.
And the Cowboys started to think that they, this is a potential guy to have first-round talent. So that's when they made the move to move La'el Collins to the tackle spot because of the absence of free or what have you, and they said they can make that position switch or what have you. La'el Collins struggled at tackle initially, so that's just how it goes. But it's one of those things. Whereas we missed good coaching philosophy with this offensive line, and it's been Achilles' heel to us.
Right, absolutely. And I think what we got to focus on is we've been scorned from the past of these coaches not developing these guys.
True.
But if you you can go to Dallas Cowboys YouTube, or you can go to my channel. In my video, I show it. The interview that Coach Mike Solari did right after we picked Austin Richards.
Yeah.
And he was asked, shout out to Aisha Morrison. She's great. She's been doing great things over there on the Dallas Cowboys Network. And she asked him the question. She said, what would be your philosophy for this offensive line this year? And you know what he said, Law?
What did he say?
He said, finish.
Finish,
That is our goal this year, to finish the guys in front of us, to dominate the guys in front of us, to sustain our blocks. So I think everybody has to remember that exactly how the caller said, you're not going to have multiple All-Pros on your line, but you don't need that. You
Philosophy
really don't
wins
need
it.
multiple All-Pros. What you need is some good philosophy, good coaching, right? Because Mike Solari, you look at him in Seattle land, he only had one Pro Bowler on their line, yet his offensive line never finished out of the top 15 except 1 year in pass block win rate, and they finished like top 10 every year in rushing.
No doubt.
So I think we got a better line than Seattle, and I think our running backs are better than Chris Carson and Mike Davis and Rashad Penny. But anyway, I think it's going to be okay, Cowboys Nation. So we got to rely. I know it's hard, but I think we got the right coaches in place. And I think I think our left guard is in the building. There's obviously so many candidates for that position. Tumu Ndonga, Asim Richards, Tyler Bass. I mean, there's so many freaking guys in the building. One of them, Tyler Smith, one of them should be able to be coached up to fill that role.
No doubt. I appreciate you so much, Star. Thank you for your words. And let people know where they can find and follow that content as well.
Thank you, Law. You guys can follow my YouTube channel at Stargazer Sports. Follow me on Facebook at Stargazer Sports Media. Follow me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. And you can also follow me on Twitter, which is the Stargazer, but in the Gazer it's a 3 instead of an E and 2 R's at the end.
No doubt. Appreciate you. Good call from Star Gazer. So 409, you was next, but you hung up, man. So call back tomorrow. I appreciate you so much, man, for waiting. All right, so Cowboy Nation, the Kool-Aid. I'm the Kool-Aid man now. You know what I'm saying? I just need to make him blue. I'm going to have to figure out how to Photoshop this dude blue, and we're going to have him as my logo where we start handing out Kool-Aids and things like that. I truly believe that from what my guy Sanjay said earlier with the super chat, that we do need a left guard. I look at it like this, and I wasn't picking on him, that two things can be true, right? We can look back at this and say, yes, we ultimately need a left guard if things don't work out well with what we already got. But if you are schemed up well and coached up properly, then what your weakness is shouldn't be the underlying issue. Shouldn't be the underlying issue. Sometimes when you got to look at this sport just like a deck of cards. You got to. And playing spades, not everybody going to have a lot of spades. You're going to get dealt a bad hand. But you can't throw in every hand and say, man, I can't play. There are some people right now that's watching that say, hey, man, let me set it up right now. It don't matter who's shuffling the deck. I'm going to play some spades and I'm going to whoop some you know what. Because they already got a thought, a strategy, a scheme, a precise plan. So it don't matter what their hand look like. They're going to come away with some books, man. Just like dominoes too. All of these games are strategy, right? Chess as well. Shoot. Come up with a good scheme, strategy, a philosophy, an approach to it. You're going to have your inefficiency levels on this team. But what a great coach can do is maximize the efficient level and deal away with the wasteful stuff, right? What Coach Marv was saying. So it goes both ways, and I get with what you guys are saying, right? And shout out to Sanjay. You know, I love objective thoughts. You know, I love people when they say, okay, well, Law, I got to present this evidence right here, right? I got to present this right here. And we will all listen, right? So, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this goes directly to coaching. How can they get things in order? Newsflash. There's only been one perfect team in the National Football League, and that perfect team wasn't perfect. What was it, the 72 Dolphins or somebody? Y'all let me know. Was it the 72 Dolphins? I wasn't alive during that time frame. But that was the only perfect team. Everybody else got scratched and bruised, and they lost the game. But only one perfect team. Right? So you're going to lose some games, but it's all about philosophy and principles and how you set things up accordingly. And the Cowboys, at the end of the day, regardless of the schedule, we got to come out on fire. We got to come out on top. We got to let everybody know that even what happened in week 1 or week 2 don't determine who wins the Super Bowl. But we got to start looking back at this thing and saying, yeah, let's put things in order to get there. And how did that happen? Measure twice, cut once. Letting everybody know that if there's a hole on this team, then we're going to fill it. We got $16.7 million of cap space. So that's where I do agree with Sanjay. Baby, we agree with that. So when training camp come around and somebody hurt or somebody can't push open a wet paper bag or bust through one, and if someone is not hungry, then we're going to have to do some moves. But we got to at least evaluate what we got. We got to see if Jalen Tolbert can stand tall. We got to see, can Simi Fihoko be a guy that can make this team too before we start looking at wide receivers again. We got to see what can we get out of Awesome Richards. What can we get out of Matt Welletsko, Joshua Ball? But we can't throw them out already. We got to wait. That's the other part of it. I know we want that fast food mentality. We like stuff now, right? We want to bang on our chest and tell everybody we the best. We going to the Super Bowl because X, Y, and Z. There's always going to be a hole here and there. There's always going to be someone checking in on us from the Patriots land, just like that guy said Cowgirls suck. But he's here watching. He's here lurking. We suck so bad that he's here watching. Getting sucked off, huh? You know, he's here getting all of the good information that we're getting sucked off from. But I'm going to tell you guys, write these things down. How bad do you want it, baby? You see a prize fighter, even when he's going down, continue to swing, knowing that it's all it takes is one punch to knock someone out. A fighter's chance. And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold everything tawny and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan, and lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish of fame, or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, guess what? You will absolutely get it. And you don't have to be like GoFay. Yes, indeed. Shout out to my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports, for that drop right there, for that thought of getting that drop. Let's continue to grind, baby. Let's continue to figure out a way. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Yeah, let's get it. Never seen a statue raised for a critic.
Damn.
Let's go.
Whoa.
Let's get it, baby.
Give me my theme music.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Roll those credits, baby. Gotta grind to shine. I know y'all missed me yesterday. Didn't get a chance to do the live. But I told you, I'm gonna always work overtime for you, for the nation, baby. Come on. I've been really in the field, though, baby. Shout out to you, Sadiq, Coach Marv, John, Common Sense, Philly, Dallas. Appreciate you. Mark, Richard, Cole. Come on. Shout out to you today. Great show. Thank you. No. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Come on. Michael, what's good? DC for life. Let's go. Cowboys and Nation all the way. Appreciate you for the support.
You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Hey.
You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search
Come on.
for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't
Shout out to you, Patrice.
Call it too legit.
I don't know where your chat. You sent something in. Let me see if I can find it. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Come on.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Hey. Ho.
Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
I don't see it, Patrice. But one love to you, baby.
Lately, I just wanna
Shout out to Jacktown in the house. I see you. Hey.
I just be off the dome. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clothes. I be at home alone. I be in zones alone.
I be on roll along.
I be really in the field. Let the rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take
Shout out to you, Lisa. Sexy. I see you. Come on. Hey.
Kinda check the song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Come on.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
If you watch it and you have not hit that like button, come on, man.
Shame. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Come on, man.
Lately, I just wanna run it up.
We gonna get on up out of here, but before we get on up out of here, man, this is a breaking news announcement. We got some breaking news announcement, man, and it appears that
I thought we had it, but it goes to show you who's the better team, and I'm sticking Cowboys.
Why you crying?
You're crying.
Bruh. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna clap the hat?
Just one more time for your boy. For the hard fight.
Let's go, birds fly, Eagles fly. Still Super Bowl champion.
Y'all let me know if y'all ever get tired of that one, baby.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, come on. Oh my goodness, man. That's some breaking news, though, by the way. Breaking news. Real talk. Come on. Let's go. Have you ever did a whole show and didn't talk about the topic you was going to talk about? I suppose talk about trades and also possible cuts. We'll do it another time, y'all. Yeah. But out of those three, We'll do it right now since we have a show within a show. Out of these three guys right here, I think that you can utilize Gallimore as a trade bait situation, and you can cut 84 in two. I follow.
Wherever you go. Come on, man.
Shout out to Philly. D, appreciate you again. Shout out to you, Steve. Shout out to you, Ghostface Gaming. In the beginning. Appreciate merch, gang. If you got Law Nation merch, let me know in the chat. We also got a hoodie 100K special. Just click that link right there. Come on. Steve says Jordan Lewis could be trade bait. Could be. If we cut him, we save about $5 million. If we trade him, we get something back in return, right? Shout out to you, Sarge.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on, fly on.
Shout out to Marquita for the Cash App. Appreciate you for the 25 Cash App. Thank you so much. And you guys have a good day and a better tomorrow. DC for life. Salute.
You have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to be, who you're going to be, who you're